Thinking about dropping out of college? Well, before you make that decision, I've got some real talk for you. Just 3 years ago, I was exactly where you're at, stuck between what everyone else expects of me and what's actually best for me. In this video, I'm sharing the truth about college, why it's not a life or death decision, some reasons why you might want to drop out, and other reasons why you might want to consider staying. Let's dive in and figure out what's right for you. What's up, my friend? My name is Jackie Ferrari, and if you're tuning in, welcome. I make videos about faith, my life experiences, personal growth to help you find God, break misconceptions, and overcome obstacles. I also make music as well that tie into those same themes. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a comment as you're watching. Let's get into it. I want to offer you encouragement. Really think for yourself when you're making this decision. Now, maybe your parents are pushing you to stay in school, or maybe everyone on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube is telling you to drop out. But at the end of the day, you have to decide what's right for you. The most important thing I can say in this video is that this is not a life or death decision. And a lot of us treat it like it is. If you make a mistake and things don't work out, you'll be okay. If you drop out of college and your parents get mad at you, you won't die. If you stay in college and you graduate and you can't find a job, you're not going to die. Regardless of what you do, if you work hard and you stay persistent, you're going to find your way. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're in your 20s. Also, if you're not in your 20s, you're watching this, share this with someone who might find this encouraging. If you're, if you just came across this, maybe you wanted to hear what I have to say to share this with someone else. Send it to a friend who might find this encouraging. But again, if you're in your 20s, you have your whole life ahead of you to try things, make mistakes, and figure it out. Go to college, don't go, take a gap year. Whatever you decide, just make the best decision for you. And most importantly, pray about it. Because some of y'all are out here making rash decisions you really probably shouldn't be making. You probably should have put a little more thought into it. And probably should have prayed first. Because you really don't need to be making decisions out of pressure or fear. And remember, the world doesn't owe you anything. Degree or not, keep your head down, stay curious, keep learning and improving, and you'll be fine. You'll end up exactly where God wants you to be. And then please don't compare your journey to someone else's. I know it's so hard, and I have to remind myself of this too. Even if that someone is the version of you that you thought you would be by now. You're young, you have time, you're allowed to make mistakes and change directions. You can still live a full and meaningful life either way. Do not let your parents or society pressure you into feeling like you need to be perfect. And stop trying to make them happy too. That's one thing that will make you unhappy, is trying to make your parents happy, trying to make all the people at church happy, trying to make your friends' parents happy. And again, you can always go back to school later if you want to. Now, a lot of people don't because they realize they don't need it in the first place. Now, I know some of your parents might be telling you, again, you'll be a failure if you drop out, but that's just not true. Now, let's get to some facts, because when you make a decision, I hope that you'll make it based on knowing the facts, right? There are 168 million adults in the U.S. over the age of 25. Around 37% of them have a bachelor's degree or higher. 37%. That's roughly 60 million adults with a degree, right? That leaves over 100 million adults in this country who do not have a degree. Do we have 100 million homeless people walking around? 100 million people with no jobs walking around? No. Clearly, there are millions of people who are making a living and providing for their families without a degree, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You'll be okay if you choose to drop out or not go to school, right? What matters most isn't just whether or not you go to college, but what you do with it. You can be a failure going to college just like you can be a failure not going or dropping out. College is what you make of it. Just going does not guarantee success. What guarantees success is your focus, right? Are you spending your time learning, building, and growing, or are you just partying, hooking up, wasting your time? You're in school, take it seriously. If this is what you want to do, take it seriously. You or your parents are paying for it. And if you drop out, take that seriously too. The world doesn't owe you anything, degree or not. But if you work hard, keep learning, and stay disciplined, you'll be just fine. All right, before we get to the next part where I share some things to consider, I want to read a scripture. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. I'm going to read that again. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. That's in Proverbs 16:3. Whether you choose to go to college or not, give your plans to God and pray about every decision you make. A degree and hard work can increase your chances of success, but ultimately success is not guaranteed by effort alone. It's God who establishes your path. Don't put your trust in a degree, and don't put your trust in how hard you work. Put your trust in him. This success may not always look like a ton of money either, but just know that whatever you do, it's going to be meaningful and purposeful when it's guided by the Lord. Before we go any further, drop a comment below. Did you go to college or not? And if you did, do you feel like it actually helped you? I want to hear your story. Now, I'm going to be real. For the vast majority of people, I really do think college is a scam. Again, not for everyone, But for many, the benefits just don't outweigh the costs. Now, do I regret getting my degree? Not necessarily, but do I think that getting a degree at Pepperdine for the cost of tuition is worth the money? No. Now, like I said, I have no debt, so I have no regrets. It's cool. But I've learned way more that's actually relevant to what I want to do and what I'm starting to do through YouTube, online courses, and investing in mentorships, right, than I ever did sitting in a classroom. Now, yeah, there were some things I learned in a classroom that I hadn't learned before, but most of what I learned was done through YouTube. I kind of feel like I have 2 degrees, one on YouTube and one from Pepperdine. Now, if you're not just going with the flow because your parents told you to go and you're really trying to think for yourself, listen up. Here's the part I really want you to consider. Make your own decision, not someone else's. So let's talk about some things to consider. If you're thinking about staying in college, here are things you should ask yourself. What do you actually want to do in life? If your goals require a degree, like becoming a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer, obviously this isn't for you. But beyond academics, college also offers unique opportunities, being surrounded by people your age, studying abroad, making lifelong friends, and possibly even meeting the love of your life. Because who doesn't want to meet the love of their life? I know I do. What environment did you grow up in? This is a really important one. Did you grow up in a certain zip code, in a certain part of town, in like a rough neighborhood? Are you the first person in your family to go to college? Or if you finish, will you be the first person in your family to get a degree? That's something to be proud of. And honestly, that's a reason to stay in school. If you come from a low-income area, college could actually be way more affordable than for you than for others. Through financial aid and scholarships, and you sometimes might even qualify for a full ride, right? In that case, college almost always gives you a leg up. And hear me out. It can even inspire the people around you to better themselves. Like if you grew up in the hood and you go to school, that says something to the people around you. They're looking at you as an example. That might inspire them to go to school and better themselves, right? What school are you attending? If you're attending an Ivy League school or a top-tier school, that name does carry a lot of weight. And it does open doors. A lot of people who went to Harvard tend to be pretty wealthy and tend to run the world. It's true. Not a guarantee, but a lot of the people that run the world, some of them are Ivy League grads, right? Where you go can matter. Doesn't always matter, obviously, but for networking and credibility in certain fields, if you name drop, yeah, I went to Harvard, like that says something. People respect you for that. So those are some things to consider. And if you're thinking about dropping out, here are things to consider. Number 1 is most important. What is your plan? What are you going to do to continue your education and personal growth instead? Because dropping out is not a party, right? You're not just going to go home and do nothing, right? You got to have some kind of plan, some kind of idea of what you're trying to do. How are you going to keep growing and learning? Are you going to learn through books, online courses, or hands-on experience? You're going to get a job, internship, whatever. Like, continuing to grow is key, even if it's not through a traditional classroom. Think about how you'll keep developing without the structure. Also, how much debt do you have? Consider how much student debt you've accumulated. I don't know the rules for how debt works if you drop out. I know if you stay, you get your degree, it's typically 6 months before the loans, you have to start paying them back. But it might be different if you drop out, so make sure you know that. If you have significant loans, dropping out might leave you with a financial burden without the degree to help pay it off, right? But if you have less debt, you might have more flexibility to pursue alternative fields, right? Just make sure you have a solid financial plan moving forward. Might make sense to just get a job until you can figure things out, right? Now, number 3 is also really important. How much time have you already invested? If you've already put in 2 or 3 years, it might make sense to just finish. Especially if you're like this close. Like I said, I was right around the corner. I just finished. I was like, might as well. I've already invested so much time into it. The last stretch can be tough, but completing your degree could offer more job opportunities and higher earning potential in the future. Might be worth just consider. Are you studying something useless? Now, this is a reason to just stop. Like, what are you just useless? Like, there's plenty of useless degrees in college. We all know that. Is your degree in line with your career goals? If you're studying something with limited job prospects or value in the market, it might be time to reassess. Switching to a more practical major or career path could be better than leaving school altogether. Number 5, I did not write this in my notes, but do you actually want to work in the field that you are studying? If you're studying psychology, but you want to be an engineer, but you're studying psychology because your parents told you to study psychology, again, this is your life, not your parents. You got to stop living to please them. You are over the age of 18. You have to make your own decisions now. Don't go get a psychology degree. Don't spend 4 years of your life doing something that you don't want to do. And I know so many people who get a degree and then just do nothing absolutely related to what they wanted to do. They get a psychology degree and then they end up being a biologist. Or they get a biology degree And then they end up starting a business. And it's like, guys, don't waste 4 years of your life. If you want to study something in school, study what you want to study. Get the degree in something you care about. But if you just hate it and your freshman year, you hate it, drop out, leave, figure something else out. And remember, dropping out is not glamorous. I want to make that clear, because everybody in social media is like, drop out of college. They make it seem like, oh, you just drop out of college, you'll be a millionaire and have a Lambo. And no, it's not glamorous. It's still hard work. You got to figure out your next move in life. But remember, God's going to guide you through whatever you end up doing. I remember during my gap year, it was tough, especially in terms of community, which is why I ended up participating in a volunteer program where I knew other people my age would be. Now, here's my final bonus surprise point. If you don't go to a traditional American university, here are some great options to gain perspective and continue growing. You could take a gap year or semester and travel. You could travel or just live in another country for a few months just on your own dime, or have your parents support you. You could learn a new language on Duolingo, or you could, again, travel and then learn a new language, study in a language program abroad, or even go to university abroad. That's an even cooler way to learn a new language. If you want to study something related to a language, like, go to university in another country. That might be more beneficial than studying Spanish in an American university. Go study in a Spanish university. You could go on a mission trip. You could volunteer. You could join the Peace Corps or a similar volunteer organization. You could start a business and see what happens. You could get a job. You could go to trade school. You could intern and gain skills. You could work for somebody for free or shadow someone. Again, there's tons of things you can do. Now, I really hope this video blessed and encouraged you. Please let me know whatever you decide to do. If you're on the fence, leave a comment below. I'd love to know. And my friend, if you're looking to continue growing personally and spiritually, and you want to break misconceptions in your life on more stuff, check out whatever videos and music that YouTube has recommended somewhere on the screen. Keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
I don't know where I'm headed, and I feel like giving in, yeah. Why do I feel like I'm going in circles, huh? I turn the corner and get all excited, and here come the hurdles, Been praying for peace and direction, but every step that I take leads me to keep getting rejected. God, can I just get a break? I just wanna be so